Welcome to Fractured Chaos.
You ever read a DM so insane, so specific, that your first thought is, nah, this has got to be a burner account? Because that's what happened to me. Middle of the night, dead silence in the house. And then my phone lights up. A message from a woman I barely know. And she writes, "I think your wife is sleeping with my husband. His name is Stephen." My heart stopped. The screen's blue light felt harsh against my face as I read those words over and over. 3 years of marriage, 5 years together, and it all came crashing down with one notification. Let me back up. Stephen has been my wife Elise's best friend since their freshman year of college. They met in psych class, bonded over some Kendrick lyrics, and the rest was history. Group trips, long-ass FaceTimes, inside jokes I was never a part of. I never liked the dude, but I tolerated him. He was always around, too around. At holidays, at dinner parties, at our wedding, where he gave that speech that made everyone cry, except me. Because I was too busy noticing how his hand lingered a little too long on my wife's back during their dance. He's like family, Elise would say. And I believed her, because that's what trust is, right? Believing someone even when your gut whispers something else. So when his wife, Tiana, hit me up at 2:17 a.m. on a Tuesday, I sat up in bed real slow, careful not to wake Elise, careful not to disturb the last few moments of a life I was about to lose. Tiana wasn't just throwing accusations. She sent screenshots, messages between Stephen and my wife. A few I couldn't even finish reading. They were nasty, and not just physical. They were emotional. The kind of texts you don't send to your best friend unless you're wearing each other's scent by now. I dream about your hands. Last weekend was worth the risk. No one understands me like you do. But here's the part that messed me up the most. In one message from just last week, my wife said, "He'll never find out. James doesn't ask questions." She wasn't wrong. I trusted her. I didn't ask questions because I thought I didn't need to. Because I believed in us, in her, in the vows we made under that oak tree with her grandmother's lace wrapped around our joined hands. Now I'm wide awake, pacing the hallway like a ghost in my own home. The home we bought together. The home where we talked about raising kids someday. And I start thinking back. All those late-night project calls they had, the last-minute trips, the fact that Stephen stayed at our place more than her own sister did. They even had a playlist together. A playlist that Elise would sometimes listen to in the shower, volume up high. I used to think it was cute how she loved music so much. My wife would say, "He's like a brother to me." Yeah? Cool. Then why does your brother call you baby in your DMs? Why does he know which freckle on your back is your favorite? Why does he have a special ringtone on your phone? I scrolled through those screenshots until the sun came up. Each one like a knife twisting deeper. There were photos too. Nothing explicit. Somehow that would have been easier. Just images of them together. His arm around her waist. Her head on his shoulder. Simple moments that looked innocent to anyone else, but felt devastating to me because I could see what I'd been blind to before. The way they leaned into each other. The private smiles. The bubble they created that no one else, especially not me, could enter. Tiana told me this wasn't a one-time thing. It had been going on for 6 months. And the day they crossed the line for the first time was the night I threw my wife a surprise promotion dinner. The promotion she'd been working toward for 2 years at her architecture firm. I invited everyone she loved. Spent a month planning it. Dropped $2,000 I didn't really have on a private room at her favorite restaurant. Stephen came, gave a toast. Said I was one of the real ones. Called me a king for supporting my wife's career. Then probably screwed her an hour later while I was settling the bill and thanking guests for coming. That night, Elise came home and made love to me with a passion I hadn't felt in months. I thought it was gratitude. I thought it was love. Now I wonder if it was guilt, or worse, if I was just a substitute for him. I knew if I came at her directly, she'd flip it, deny it, say it's not what it looks like, gaslight me into thinking I was crazy or insecure. So I did something risky. I messaged Stephen. Just 2 words, "We need to talk." He left me on read. That was confirmation enough. So I hit up Tiana again. We met up at a Target parking lot the next night. 2 strangers, broken and pissed. sharing betrayal stories over iced coffees like it was some weird therapy session. Tiana was nothing like I expected. She was strong, composed even though her eyes were swollen from crying. She worked as a pediatric nurse, had been with Stephen for 7 years. High school sweethearts. She showed me pictures of their wedding. They looked happy. We all did once. I found out when I saw his Apple Watch notifications, she said. He was in the shower. I never check his stuff, but something just felt off. For months. We compared timelines, matched up suspicious late nights, unexplained absences, weekend work emergencies that now made perfect sense. He told me they were just close because they understood each other creatively, Tiana said with a bitter laugh. I believed him because I wanted to. Because the alternative was this. We decided to set a trap. I told my wife I had a weekend retreat for work, packed a bag, left the house. But I didn't go far. I rented an Airbnb 5 minutes away and had Tiana install a camera in Stephen's apartment. Legal? Probably not. Ethical? Debatable. Necessary? Absolutely. The plan was simple. Tiana would tell Stephen she was visiting her sister for the weekend, a girls' trip, give them the perfect opportunity. And if nothing happened, if we were somehow wrong, we'd delete the footage and try to move on. But we weren't wrong. The footage came through 24 hours later. They didn't waste time. My wife showed up at his place with an overnight bag, hair done, wearing a dress I bought her for our anniversary. What we caught wasn't even subtle. They kissed like they'd been doing it for years. She was wearing my hoodie. He made her a drink using the whiskey I left at their place during a double date night last year. My damn bottle. It wasn't sex that crushed me. It was the familiarity, the casualness, like this was normal, routine. The way she kicked off her shoes and immediately knew which drawer to put her things in. The way he knew exactly how she liked her tea. The shared glances that carried years of secret history. You ever watch your life implode on HD? That was me. Sitting in a rental, sipping lukewarm Chinese takeout, watching my wife straddle her best friend while I tried to remember what peace ever felt like. Mid-video, Stephen says, "You think he suspects anything?" And my wife laughs. Please. James still thinks we're just vibing to old playlists. He trusts me so much, it's almost too easy. Then she says something that broke me entirely. Sometimes I feel bad. He's a good man. But not the right man? Stephen asks. She shrugs. I don't know what I want anymore. I just know I can't stop this. Can't stop us. I turned off the video, called Tiana. She was crying too. What now? She asked. Now we end this, I said. I came home the next morning like nothing happened. She was in the kitchen making pancakes, the ones with blueberries and that fancy maple syrup I like. Her hair was wet from the shower. She looked beautiful, normal, like my wife, not like someone who had just destroyed our marriage. She kissed me, said she missed me, wore the same hoodie she'd worn at his place, looked me in the eye and asked what I wanted for dinner. I told her I wanted answers. She froze. The spatula hovered over the pan. The pancakes started to burn. What do you mean? She asked, her voice steady but her hands trembling. I showed her the footage, just a clip, just enough. Her face went white, then pink, then rage red. She said, "You had me followed?" Typical, not, "I'm sorry," not, "It's not what you think," just straight to blame shifting. I said, "You didn't get caught because I followed you. You got caught because you're sloppy, because secrets like this are too heavy to carry cleanly." She collapsed onto a kitchen chair, the pancakes forgotten. The smoke alarm started beeping. I calmly turned off the stove, opened a window, and sat across from her, waiting. It's complicated, she finally said, as if that explained anything. Actually, it's pretty simple, I replied. You're having an affair with your best friend. The only complicated part is why you didn't just leave me first. She asked if we could talk, said she was confused, that Stephen was just a safe space for her, that our marriage had been suffocating her creativity, and she didn't know how to tell me. Safe space? That man cried on my shoulder when his dad died. I helped him move apartments twice. I listened to his career problems, relationship advice, even picked him up at 3 a.m. once when his car broke down. And this is how they repay loyalty? How long? I asked. Does it matter? It matters to me. She stared at her hands. The first time was after my promotion dinner. We were drunk. It wasn't planned. But after that, it just kept happening. 6 months of lies. 6 months of me planning date nights, writing her little notes, bragging about her to my friends. 6 months of her coming home from his bed and sleeping in mine. "Do you love him?" I asked. The question burned my throat. She didn't answer. She didn't have to. Stephen sent me a voice note that night. Said he was sorry and that he loved her. Said he didn't mean for it to go this far. As if intentions matter when the damage is done. As if saying sorry erases the image of him touching my wife. As if love justifies betrayal. I sent the voice note to Tiana. She went full nuclear, kicked him out, filed papers, made a social media post that didn't name names, but made it clear that infidelity had shattered her world. Her family rallied around her. His friends took sides. It got messy. Meanwhile, my wife stayed in the guest room for 2 weeks, crying, journaling, pretending like we could salvage something from the ashes. She went to therapy, asked me to join her, sent me articles about how affairs can sometimes make marriages stronger if both parties are committed to healing. But I was already gone, emotionally checked out. My trust wasn't just broken, it was disrespected, mocked. When someone shows you that they can lie to your face for half a year, how do you ever believe them again? You know the sickest part? They still talk. I saw it 3 weeks after D-Day, a muted notification on her Apple Watch. "Stephen, you good?" She replied, "Not really." I didn't say a word. I just packed her bags, left them by the door, and told her, "You made your bed. Go sleep in his." She cried, begged, said Stephen wasn't worth losing our marriage over, said it was just a mistake, a phase. But I was done listening to words. I only trusted actions now. And her actions had been speaking clearly for months. The divorce was quick, but painful. We didn't have kids, thank God. Just a house full of memories I couldn't stand to keep. I sold it, moved to a small apartment downtown, started over at 34. Tiana and I kept in touch. Not romantically. We were both too broken for that. But as friends who understood each other's specific pain. We'd meet for coffee sometimes, compare notes on our healing journeys. She got a therapy dog. I started boxing classes. Different approaches, same goal, finding ourselves again. Elise and Stephen officially got together 3 months after our divorce. Posted couple pictures like they were brand new, like there wasn't a trail of destruction behind their love story. His friends congratulated them. Some of our mutual friends chose sides. Some just faded away, uncomfortable with the mess of it all. I heard through the grapevine that they fight constantly, that the foundation of lies they built their relationship on keeps cracking under pressure, that karma might be slow, but it's thorough. Does that make me feel better? Sometimes. In my weaker moments. But most days, I'm too busy rebuilding to care about their demolition. Now, I sleep better. I still flinch when I hear her name. Still feel that drop in my stomach when I pass the bar we used to go to. Still have dreams where we're happy and wake up feeling like I've lost her all over again. But I also smile more. I'm lighter, like betrayal carved out a space in me where peace finally moved in. I dated casually at first, nothing serious. Then met someone who showed me what honest love feels like. Someone who doesn't keep secrets, doesn't have best friends they disappear with, doesn't make me feel crazy for asking questions. Tiana found someone too, a widower with kind eyes who treats her son like his own. We had them over for dinner last month, toasted to new beginnings, to relationships built on truth from day one. And Elise? Last I heard, she texted me on what would have been our 4th anniversary, said she made the biggest mistake of her life, said she misses the man who knew her soul, said Stephen was just a fantasy that couldn't survive reality. I read it, didn't respond. Some chapters don't need epilogues. To whoever needs to hear this, if they call someone their best friend, and you're always the outsider in that dynamic, pay attention. If they guard their phone like it contains state secrets, pay attention. If your gut tells you something's wrong, even when your heart wants to believe otherwise, listen to your damn gut. Sometimes best friends are just people they don't have to lie to, until they do. Trust is earned, not owed. And once it's shattered, no amount of super glue can put it back exactly as it was. You can either build something new from the broken pieces, or walk away and start fresh. I chose the latter, and on most days I don't regret it. I learned that losing someone who doesn't respect you is not a loss. It's a recalibration, a return to self. I learned that forgiveness isn't about letting them off the hook. It's about setting yourself free. I learned that betrayal doesn't define you, but how you respond to it might. So here's my call to anyone reading this who feels that cold dread in their stomach, that nagging suspicion, that voice in the back of your mind that something isn't right. Trust yourself first. Don't ignore red flags because they're wrapped in good memories. Don't settle for explanations that make you doubt your own perception. Don't waste years loving someone who only loves you when it's convenient. And if you're the one thinking about betraying someone who trusts you, stop. Have the courage to end one relationship before beginning another. Clean breaks hurt, but they heal cleaner than jagged ones. If you're healing from betrayal right now, whether it's fresh or years old, know this. What happened to you is not a reflection of your worth. Their weakness is not your failing. You will love again. You will trust again. But next time, it will be with wisdom in your bones, with boundaries made of steel instead of wishes, with eyes wide open. The pain eases, the sun rises, and one day, you wake up and realize that what you thought was the end of your story was just the messy middle of a much better one. One where you're the hero, not the footnote in someone else's betrayal. Choose yourself. The rest will follow.